It is Booker and Stryker with Machine Gun Kelly.
What's happening, man? It's good to see you again.
Boys, what up?
Is makeup sex the best kind of sex?
Definitely. According to my memory, yes. Makeup sex seems to be the option. It seems to be the best way to make something great out of a bad situation.
So, right, but to get to the makeup sex, you need to be in just like one of those, but also be in a really bad argument, and your brain has to go to a terrible place. Is it worth that?
No. I'm answering for him. No. Nobody wants to go through that.
I feel like I'm a little bit of like a disaster artist, so I guess makeup sex is right up my alley because I like to sabotage everything first. Anytime something is going good, I like to just reverse the car and be like, I'm gonna run it off the cliff. It's all good.
Are you an arguer?
For sure.
You are.
For sure.
So you're not like one of those let things go kind of guys.
Moving towards there. Yeah, maybe next album we'll have maybe next album the single will just be like straight up missionary sex. Straight up sex.
Or therapy works.
Yeah.
Therapy works.
Yeah. Something like that.
Oh my God. So you have a candy up here with us. I mean, are the gobstoppers or nerds?
No, I thought, it's funny. So I always, every time I come in this building, I always take something from an office. And like the last time it was a little toy piano.
Right?
Spread a tune, and I found a way to like use it on something. But then this time it was nerds, but I was fooled because I thought it was Everlasting Gobstoppers, which is my favorite Willy Wonka candy.
Yes, of course.
So you're a thief.
I do it while I ask the first.
No, that's good.
It sounds like he's just running through offices going, well,
like, no, I'll take this.
kind of feel like nerds today. I would if I was famous and stuff. I would just pull things like that all the time just for the hell of it.
One of the many things I admire about you is you do not stop going, whether it's the music or acting, directing, writing. You and our friend Maud's son, the trailer just dropped for the movie. You guys co-directed it?
Yeah.
Called Good Morning?
Yeah, Good Morning with the U.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Kind of like meta to me. I wrote it after, before Megan and I had started like officially dating. She would... she never would bring her phone places. She would kind of like send cryptic messages and then leave. And that was before I knew her and knew her to be that person. And I lived in a house with all my friends, and I would kind of take the phone to every room and be like, dude, like, what does this mean? Like, is she breaking up with me? Is this like, and they would all give me different advice, and all the advice was terrible. And it was,
of course, it's just screwball friends.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyone's friends are all screwballs. They don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. So this movie kind of takes place all in one day. Everyone gives this guy's name's London Clash. They give him the wrong advice, and it leads him down this winding road to nowhere, which is, but it's a stoner comedy in the sense of this great scene where they break into the girlfriend's house trying to, find clues. And one of the friends picks up this vase, and he's like, whoa, this is crazy. And breaks the vase, and it's full of her family's ashes.
Uh-oh.
And they have this epiphany like, oh, well, we can just fill this back up with like weed ashes. And it's the stupidest solution ever to it, which is why it makes it great. And like, the cast is amazing.
Who's in it? Who are some of the actors that you got? Comedians, whoever, musicians?
Comedian-wise, Whitney Cummings, Pete Davidson.
Oh, nice.
We got Gata. We got Dove Cameron. We got Zach Villa. We got Dennis Rodman. We got... That's so funny even just saying that. We got Dennis Rodman.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I know. That's my favorite
minute.
part of just dropping that one in there.
Wait a minute. Okay. When you guys were writing it, you thought, this is Dennis Rodman. Is he playing Dennis Rodman?
Oh, he's Dennis Rodman.
He is?
No, the best part about this movie is that no cast was hired in a timely fashion. Everyone was kind of like pulled together the day before we would start shooting.
So I'm looking at it like
Whitney
this.
Cummings came on the day before we yelled record. Dennis Rodman. I kept telling the studio, they rented out Van Nuys Airport. I was like, there's an athlete that will be here. And they were like,
That's what
well,
I was
who?
going to
Yeah,
ask.
well, who is it? And I was
Whoever
like,
gets off the plane.
the first name I said, I was like, Steph Curry's doing it. They hit Steph Curry's people. They're like, Steph Curry's not doing it. I was like, okay, I know, but LeBron James. They called LeBron James. LeBron James is not doing it. I was like, just trust me. And they're like, dude, we rented out Van Nuys Airport for 4 hours. Like, someone needs to be there. I'm like,
someone.
just trust me. And Mod has he's like, I was like, dude, we need suggestions. I've hit every friend up that I can in the industry to like see, and all of them were like, oh, we're in away games or we're doing this, and he's like, well, I don't know any athletes. The only person I know is Dennis Rodman. He had some tattooed on his arm, and so I was like, that's it. Like Dennis Rodman for sure can come do this, and I hit him up, and he agreed to come if we sent a Rolls Royce to pick him up, and so we sent a Rolls Royce. Halfway through him coming to the set, the owner calls like, Dennis Rodman smoking a cigar in my car. No! And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You get Dennis Rodman here, like, so like the whole staff is just like the financiers, everyone just sitting there like at an empty Van Nuys airport, like, and I'm just sitting there like the camera's right here. I'm in the director's chair with Mod, and we're just like, all good, just someone's coming.
You should have recorded this and released it as part 2, because
this whole film is like had everything going in it to be a complete failure, and everything pulled together. Yeah. Even a funny story that we realized what happened at the end of the editing process was we were playing the movie back, and there's this one scene. It's so quick. It's 30 seconds, but I'm talking to a joint, like a joint's talking to me.
Yeah. Because
I'm so high, and we realized, oh, that's still the voice from that day where it's us being the voice of the joint, being like, smoke me, da, da, da. And it's not a good voice, and we had forgot to character cast that voice. Like we forgot, like, oh, we need voiceovers too.
Right.
And so we it was the day before we had to turn the movie in, and I was like, I'm calling Snoop Dogg. And then I called Snoop, and he was like, man, send it to me right now, nephew. I'll get it to you in 5 minutes.
No.
And Snoop voiced the joint. So like that was a clutch, like, last minute thing. But it was a great experience writing it, because it was therapeutic, and it was hilarious because it was really just me freaking out and being this character that I was.
And it takes place in one day, right?
It all takes place in one day, which is a lot of my favorite movies.
How many days did it take to make the movie then?
4 weeks.
What? So it's a
real movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
Congrats, man.
Wow.
Thank you.
You know, when I look at your career, I mean, it's been long. You didn't like show up yesterday, and seeing you act, and my first watch of you would be in that Motley Crue when The Dirt.
Yeah.
And you played Tommy so incredible. I know Tommy a little bit, but you nailed Tommy.
Thank you.
But you're a really good actor.
Roadies was also a great series.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a great actor. And did you know going in you were going to be good at it? Or is this something over the years you said, I got to get into this? Like, how did you come to that? Because you were really natural and great in that movie.
Well, it's funny because I was really excited about that movie, and I thought that would be like a big break for me. And I watched critics kind of go, oh, yeah, he did great in that movie, but he's a musician playing a musician, so, like, of course he would. They were like, no, yeah, it makes
review.
sense. And I was like,
a very lazy review.
But he's nothing like the Machine Gun Kelly character that I portray, so there really is quite a that was me fully immersing in that Tommy role. So I was like, okay. And then I took that on the chin, and I was like, all right, well, I'll show my acting chops in some other ways. And then, I would, I had a lot of friends who were directors who, I'd come in their movies, and I would essentially kind of do pop-in roles, like cameo roles. And it's really, really hard unless you're like, Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers in it for 5 minutes to make an impression in 5 minutes, right? Like it's really hard to showcase your stuff in a 2-minute scene. And it felt like a lot of, my roles while I had been in some big movies like the Bird Boxes and other things like that. Like it felt like I'm in it and out so quickly, so I kind of had this chip on my shoulder where I really wanted to actually get in and act. And it's part of why I wrote that movie. Even though I wasn't planning in starring in it, but I'm glad that I ended up doing it because I'm a super goofy dude, and that doesn't come across in the musician version of myself. And it was nice to get on camera and just like be a goof. And I've had some other roles that are coming out this year. I did a film called Taurus about the last week that a musician is alive, which is drama acting for me, which I'm excited about. And then I did a film called One Way, which is me bleeding out on a bus, and Kevin Bacon plays my dad, and another drama acting. And so nice. Like I've had some opportunities to where I'm able to really show that side of myself, like as an actor, and so I'm really looking forward to this year for that reason. You know?
Did you take the Kevin Bacon movie because you're now 1 degree from Kevin Bacon? It's not 6. Like,
those stories are crazy, man.
It's impossible not
Those
to go 6
stories are
degrees with him.
crazy.
was he nice? Did you like
The
him?
coolest dude.
Musician too.
And he's a musician.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays in a band with his brother. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Wow,
he was really good, and we oddly have similar faces, like these sharp.
Yep. Features, long,
yeah.
thin.
Plays my dad. He's really. I actually saw the movie for the first time the other day. I was obviously much more impressed with Kevin Bacon, so than myself. So I was just, as soon as Kevin came on, I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
You wasted no time to put out another record, working with Travis again,
Mhm.
mainstream
Sellout.
Sellout. The material that you came up with, was it stuff that happened over a 3-week span, or you were writing it for over the last year and a half? And was it a no-brainer to get back with Travis, your guy?
Definitely a no-brainer to get back with Travis. When I got back in the studio with him, the first song we did was 5150, which
Right?
structurally was a really strong song because it's not simple format. Even the bridge, we would I would play like a little riff, and then he would drum, and I'd play a riff, and then he would drum, and then I always, which is such a Blink thing, I love combining voices, like having one voice in the left and other voice in the right, and that. Long story short, I mean that felt like lyrically and chorus wise really strong, and that was kind of like a good indication coming out of Tickets, like, oh, we can do this again. And then I did Paper Cuts, and then I swore for that month period that I was like, oh, we're gonna make a grunge album, like for sure, like, and then I realized. Don't make the mistake that a lot of artists make, which is like they have a really successful album and then they get so angry at the success of that album that they want to make like a full just art album for themselves, selfishly taking away from what the fans want to hear.
Yes.
And I'm sure my art album will come at some point, but I didn't want to write when all these people were like, oh, I'm really stoked on this. Be like, yeah, but fuck you. I'm going to go make like Kid A by Radiohead or something.
I was going to say Radiohead, but I didn't want to insult them.
But Kid A.
Oh, Kid A is oh my God. Oh my God. The first time I ever listened to it, I was on mushrooms and I heard it and I heard the voice of God. I was like, this is the best album front to back that I've ever. And then it was like right after that I had saw that album had got reviewed as like the best album of the century or something like that. So, but, not taking away from myself, I don't know if at this point, 31, with all these other things, not being able to just get away and be in my own head, that I was going to come with a Kid A. So unless it's a Kid A that I'm coming with, I wasn't going to burden y'all with this.
Fair enough.
A half-assed art project.
I still think Paranoid Android's better, but whatever. What do I know? You are a guy that's wearing a lot of hats. I mean, we're talking about acting and music.
I've been looking at this hat that I was like, I should have worn this hat, this interview anyway.
Different
so
types
speaking
of
of,
hats.
I'm going to wear this. I'm going to put on this.
Hold on. Give me the mic. Hold on. He's putting on another hat. You seem
Cleveland hat? Yeah. Okay.
You seem to thrive in the world of chaos, put it that way, where you're doing a lot of different things, because you seem like a kind of guy that doesn't like to sit around bored. We're reading you correctly, right?
Yeah, it's a little unhealthy for me to be bored. I don't really, not great yet at handling my own thoughts without being able to flush them out. But continue.
That's where I was going with it, just seeing how you are handling all of this. Is it daunting? But you seem to be in a good place. Your headspace seems great. You seem busy and with a smile.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny what a couple hours can do. This morning was the opposite, right? This morning I was like, not doing it, not leaving the room today, like, can't handle it. The world thinks so negatively of me. I don't, et cetera, et cetera. I actually, I deal with some disappointment that I have towards, I guess, like, quote unquote, the scene, just in regards to the fact of, I've been around for a long time. I've been in it for a long time. I've been friends with a lot of these guys for a long time. And to see, when you're up and coming and you're not really like a threat, or you're in a different lane, like, I was a rapper on Warped Tour. It was kind of like I was always playing with live band, but I wasn't, on record making albums that were sounding like what we were performing. So it kind of felt like when we weren't, again, like a threat, that everyone was cool to be supportive and be like, oh yeah, man. And then it's like, as soon as I was like, oh, well, it's been a long time that I've been around this, and like I was waiting for the right time to kind of like express myself in this way. And as a rapper, I always, if you listen to my records, I mean, like, I'll fit 1 million words in a sentence, and I was like really good about intense storytelling. And as a concert artist, meaning someone who like I remember in 2019, I think I was the most toured hip hop artist. So you're doing all these shows, so you're taking in lessons from each show, and you're like, damn, these people are having a hard time keeping up, singing along with all these words I'm saying. And so you always have this like urge to simplify songwriting and say something that they can sing along with. Like I think about when I'm on festivals and I watch, I'm a rapper, so I can rap along with all my favorite rapper shit, but you watch that versus when I don't know, put anyone up as like Lana Del Rey or something. She goes up and sings, and the whole crowd is able to like sing every word. And you're like, I got in with Travis, and Travis, when I first was starting, I would fit in 1 million words into these singing songs I was doing, and he was like, just make it like 8 words in this line. Like you don't need 18.
Slow it down.
Yeah, like just let and then when I started doing that, and then when I would perform it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. But to watch everybody be able to sing.
That was Travis who suggested that to you.
That he was just like, yo, you can say less while still saying more.
In radio, they say to us, we don't pay you by the word.
Yeah.
And it's the same idea.
And
you can say it in less words.
For sure. So Travis said that to me.
Wow.
And again, it's just, me learning myself as an artist and constantly trying to develop and make it fun so that when I come back, you guys have something new to talk about. Not like, hey, sick, man, so you're still doing the same shit.
You're not.
So I, in doing that, put this out, and when it almost became cool to like hate on me, I'm obviously looking like, oh, well, they're coming after like my validation in this genre, which is interesting because like Ben doing this, like, tell them guys. Right. And I'm looking and I'm like,
where is everybody?
But dude, you were all rocking with me when I was putting out this, and now all of a sudden it's like radio silence, and I'm looking at these bands and all these people who are these people who are doing the questioning. Maybe they don't know, so rightfully so, they don't have to know my history, but they're seeing me now and they're making an on-site judgment, and I'm like, oh well, they're fans of you guys. Why don't you let them know? And I'm only seeing like Kellen Quinn. I'm only seeing like one person being like, yo, why is everyone acting like this is a new thing? Or why is like this is actually a really good dude and has been out here supporting the scene and has been doing, and I'm seeing radio silence, and I'm like, yeah, funny how that works.
But it's a sign of success though. And we've seen it a lot over so many years.
That's right.
When you've made it, that happens. It's just par for the course. It's not even
it's very disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
But it is a sign of, it almost should be a sign of validation. I wish more artists could almost step back and say, I've made it, because this is what.
You know who told me that? Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Really?
You know who was like, you know what the most rock and roll thing you got going on is? That everyone hates you.
Yep.
That everyone's coming at your neck. That the whole scene is like, why? He's like, dude, it happened. The same thing happened to me. Like it does validate something, because also, you know what, dude, I don't blame you. These are your insecurities that I'm the vessel for, and I'm okay with that. It hurts. I see what you say. You can say that I'm toxic or my lyrics are toxic or this and this. I remember it's funny, even with like Makeup Sex, which is such a like fun song, like even like that, it's like, whoa, those lyrics are this. And I'm like, but is me, first off, love songs or those type of songs have been said so much in so many ways that the new generation of songwriters, we have to take it to a different level, because every other way of saying it has been said already. That's why I love new rap so much, because the storytelling now is so intense, because every other way of telling the same story has been said already. So,
absolutely.
But is my toxic lyrics more toxic than what you say about me, as if I'm not a human with feelings, and you ganging up on me on social media with you know, just to get your tens of thousands of likes and retweet all this stuff. That's less toxic though. That's a human you're speaking on with feelings who's also learning this thing called life, and that's
They're
toxic.
talking about you, man. They're just talking about you.
Right.
And
And
hey, if the
that's
song
their
stunk,
chocolate.
if the song stunk or were mediocre, this wouldn't be happening. But luckily, the songs are catchy from note number 1 all the way through, and you know how to perform live.
Yeah.
But it's still, yes, we hear you loud and clear. Like, that sucks that the people that supported you, whether they're famous or not, now give you some crap. That stinks. But you just put out a great new album, a huge, huge tour. Do you like The Cure at all, the band The Cure?
Yeah.
Today is Robert Smith's birthday.
Oh, he could settle a
Happy
bet for
birthday.
us.
We wanted to...
It's also my birthday.
Today?
Yeah, 12 at midnight.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday.
coming
Thank
up
you.
at midnight.
Thank you.
We're just going to pitch one song from each of us, and you decide which one is better. The song that I think is the best Cure song is Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. That's the one I'm going with.
Your voice
it's a
just ruined
classic.
it. And I'm going to go with Love Song, which I won't sing.
I have the vinyl of Cure's, like of their hits, and like my favorite part of The Cure is Robert Smith's guitar tones.
Mm.
It's so verbed out and saucy and like way ahead of its time, and really reminds me a lot of, you know, I actually, you know, it's cool that Blink featured Robert Smith
Yes.
on the self-titled album.
Right, which the self-titled album, you could line up a bunch
It's
of
the
people
be-
and
oh,
they
it's the
say
best,
it's the
dude.
best
It's
one.
the best.
Yep,
It's the
totally.
best. It's the best because it's like it's almost like it's pretty dark.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it feels like, you know, that's that in the studio when we're making when we're doing certain tones and stuff, like Robert Smith is quoted as, or like when we're like, that's when we're like, oh, we need this tone, we need this tone, we need this tone. And I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, we have, I love how I'm saying we as if Travis's guitar collection is mine, but like there is a Robert Smith guitar
Is
in
that
the
right?
studio that we
Wow.
used on Mainstream Sellout. And I'm going to kill myself if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure
Okay.
we should actually call Travis and
Okay,
confirm.
let's call
We'd really just
Travis.
make sure that I'm not.
Okay. Let's call him, put that there. So the 2 song choices
Love Song.
against my song, Boys Don't Cry.
Okay.
So
Travis is going to say Love Song as well. He has to. Oh, no. We've even got another surprise.
he's FaceTiming Travis right now.
Yeah. Travis has to look it up.
Let's see if he picks you up.
It's funny. What it,
Straight to voicemail.
can you read what Travis's name is in my
Travis loves Gargoyles Barker.
so he had you know Cisco Adler?
Yeah, of course.
course.
So he dropped off this gargoyle at the studio for Travis, and it like makes sounds when you I'll wait for a call back. It makes sounds when you walk up,
Yeah.
and we're like you know, it scares everybody that walks up to the door, so we were always giving him shit for having this gargoyle in front of his studio.
Is this
And
like
we-
is this like an Oscar moment?
I thought, because I'm talking about gargoyles, I thought it was the gargoyles, dude. What up, dog? I'm good. My favorite memory is we're on set of Jackass 4, and we're and so a lot of the pranks didn't make it in the movie and stuff. So like they tried the milkshake one where you go off and the steps are fake and you like spill these milkshakes all over your shit. But so Tremaine the whole day is like, dude, man like thinks he can't be pranked, and like we're gonna get him today. And he sits in this seat to do an interview.
Oh yeah.
And there's a light bulb above. Him.
Yeah, there was a light bulb and a like big circle thing, and I
And
called it out. And I'm
He's
like,
calling. He's like,
dude,
dude.
what's up?
and they just let it go.
And
And
it's pig cum, and I just
5
stand there. And I'm
pounds of
just like,
pig cum.
I'm like,
Calm down on him.
I'm like, that's all you got? I'm like, all right, cool.
So funny. He like everyone. It didn't make it in the movie because everyone was so bummed because he was just like he called it and then it happened and then
saw
he
the
still was
prank.
like
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's the one.
so funny.
And the cruise show right over there.
Dude,
What up?
dude, the cruise show just made the power go out over across the street.
Very nice.
So many listeners were listening.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, we should wrap this up.
Okay.
So
All right,
since
hey, you guys wrap it up. It was
we
good
met-
being on your show. I don't know what show this is or whatever, but we man here, and I'm glad to be on. Thank you guys.
All right.
We did a TV show together. Okay. There we go.
He's like, can't remember your
I see,
name.
I got it. Okay.
Booker and Stryker, we man. Come on.
Booker
please.
and Stryker, we man.
All right. Let's wrap it up with
Good
MGK.
to see you.
Good
Well,
to see you.
I thought so in the gargoyle conversation.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna bring the gargoyle, but
Oh my
I literally
God.
thought you knew where I was going with that.
You
I
had
thought
a
it was
look
gargoyle.
of fear in your eyes.
Oh, bro, there's because
it was
this
an
is
Oscars moment.
So this is what happens. So the gargoyle comes out, or the gargoyle's in front of his shit. We're making fun of this gargoyle every fucking day, right? And so one day I get up and I'm going to meet up with Travis and shit. And Travis the night before kept calling me and being like, "What's up, dude? Like, you know, how you feeling, man?" And I'm like, and we do that, but his tone on this conversation was just like, I was like, he was like, "Did you go to dinner tonight? Did you?" I'm like, "No, I just been in the house. Like, what's up?" You know? And he was like, "Oh no." Calls the next morning, "What's up, brother? Like, good morning. You leave the house at all? Did you go to breakfast?" I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck is Travis doing?"
What is he getting at?
And I hang up the phone and I'm like, he's like, "Why don't you just meet me at the studio real quick?" You know, I'm like, "All right, I'm about to head out. I'm gonna see Travis or whatever." I close the door and I turn around, the gargoyle's in front of my house, in front of the door, and it goes,
Oh my God.
and it like makes the noise. And I FaceTime back and I'm like, "Fuck you. Like, you left the gargoyle in my shit." And
That's the name of the phone.
oh yeah, so ever since every time we talk to each other, we're like, "What's up, gargoyle?" Like,
Gargoyle.
Yeah.
whatever. And like, yeah, that gargoyle has been an infamous neighbor to both of our houses, and I'm gonna drop it off on you guys as Snoop
Yeah,
next. That
great.
shit's been making the fucking rounds, dude.
That's awesome. Let's wrap it up with quickly. Which Cure song? The Booker Stryker song battle.
Love Song?
Is it Love Song or Boys Don't Cry? It's one of those two.
I feel like Love Song musically, Boys Don't Cry. As far as if that's probably the last song on their set. Now that's like the one. So
Boys
I mean,
Don't
Boys
Cry.
Don't Cry.
Thank you.
I'm going to go cry because I lost. Sucks.
All right, man.
But I'm also like Travis will run. I if it was like Fugazi or other
Waiting room.
okay, that is the ultimate. But like anything like that, that's
Give me
more.
another one. I'll tell you.
There's no
This is a
Jawbreaker.
fun game. Which one?
Jawbreaker. So it's an accident prone. It's some of the best lyrics I ever heard. But The Cure, it was more the tones. I guess like I was and still am late to the party on The Cure in many ways. So
That's
I don't
okay.
want to be the
That's
judge
wanna
for
be the
that.
But you did
deciding
great.
factor. Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
Man, congrats on everything you have created and continue to create. And thanks for the wonderful conversation today,
Yeah, man. Thank you guys.